prp3 students, good morning everybody. Today we're going to discuss chapter 5 in Black Beauty, the life of a taxi driver. Everybody please open page 61. We read together that chapter, parts of the chapter. Then we discuss some more questions. Chapter 5, the life of a taxi driver. Before you read, what do you think life was like for a horse that pulled taxis in London at this time? Everybody, can you imagine what was life at that time? Was it good for the horses, animals that were working at that time? Let's discover together. Let's read together page 61. My new owner gave me food before he rode me for many kilometers towards London. Of course, here Black Beauty is speaking. It was getting dark and the lights were on in the streets. When we arrived in the big city, there were streets to the left and streets to the right, and I thought we would never arrive. Finally, however, my owner gave a call and the door opened in a small house. Of course, here the new owner is calling his wife to open the door. A woman and two children ran out. Is he gentle, father? Called the girl. Yes, he's as gentle as you are. Come and say hello, he said. Let me get him some food and water, said the woman, and I was taken into a comfortable room. I think I will be happy here, I thought. My new owners were called Jerry and Polly. Of course, Jerry is the man or the taxi driver and Polly is his wife. And their children were Harry and Dolly. Harry is the boy and Dolly is the girl, who were aged 8 and 12. So Harry is younger than Dolly. He is only 8 and the girl is only 12. They were all very happy people. Jerry owned a taxi carriage and another horse called Captain. So, who's Captain? Captain is another horse owned by Jerry. The next day, Captain went out of the taxi carriage in the morning. Then it was my turn in the afternoon. Guys, let's discuss some questions about these parts together. First, we know that we have critical thinking questions, but we just discussed to understand more. Question here. Show that the new owner was kind. He gave Beauty food before he rode him to London. Another question. Why did Beauty think that he would never arrive to London? Because it was long and there were many streets. Who ran out of the house when they reached London? A woman and two children. His wife and the two children. What did the girl ask her father when he arrived? She asked if the horse was gentle. How did the woman welcome Beauty? She brought him food and water. Question number 7. What were the new owners called? Of course, we said them. They were called Jerry and Polly. Jerry is the man or the taxi driver and Polly is his wife. How many children did Jerry and Polly have? They had 2 children, a boy called Harry and a girl called Dolly. How old are the children? Harry is 12 and Dolly is 8. No, that's not correct. Harry is 8 and Dolly is 12. Here, the answer is not correct. Harry is 8 and Dolly is 12. What did Jerry own? He owned a taxi carriage and a horse called Captain. When did Beauty take his turn to walk? He walks in the afternoon. How was Beauty's new stable? It was comfortable stable. Now let's go back to the text again. Here we complete the text as you see here in the picture, page 61. Next page 62. Jerry was a very good driver and he was very kind to me. He took me to a wide street where there were big houses and shops filled with food. There were many other taxis outside the shops, waiting for passengers. Those drivers said hello to Jerry and then came to look at me. He's too handsome to pull a taxi, said one. So one of the taxi drivers here is wondering how a handsome horse like that is walking as a taxi, or he can pull a carriage. Jerry answered or replied, "Well," said Jerry, I will soon find out, won't I? Which means that later I will see if this horse is good or not. Then the owner of the taxi business came over, a tall man called Mr. Grant. So, who is Mr. Grant? He is the owner of the taxi business. He studied me, which means he checked me, examined me, as if he wanted to buy me. Then he said, "He's a good horse. He will do well for you, Jerry." So, who said so? We can find this question in the match question. This part or this phrase is said by Mr. Grant, the taxi business owner. The first few days of pulling a taxi were difficult. I didn't find it easy in London. There was so much noise and so many people. It was difficult to find my way between all the other carriages. But in time, which means in the exact time, I was not late, I began to trust Jerry and I stopped worrying. At the end of the day, I was giving good food and fresh water. Harry always helped to look after me and work as hard as much older boy. And Polly and Dolly also came to see me often. Jerry was the best owner I have had. So, who was the best owner? He was Jerry. Now, let's move to find some questions and answers together. Here, number 1, what was Beauty's opinion of Jerry? He was a good driver and kind to him, and also he was the best owner he has ever had. 2, what did the other drivers say about Beauty? They said he was too handsome. 3, who came and studied Beauty? What did he say? Mr. Grant studied him and said was good and would do well. 4, how was the walk on the first days? Of course it was difficult. 5, why wasn't it easy for Beauty in London? Because there were a lot of people and there was much noise. Question 6, what made Beauty stop worrying about London and this important? Why do you think Beauty stopped worrying about London? Because he began to trust Jerry. Question 7, what was Beauty given at the end of walking days? He was giving good food and fresh water. Question 8, were Jerry's family kind to Beauty? Yes, very much, and treated him well. Question 9, how were Polly and Dolly when they came to see Beauty? They were shy? Maybe. Okay, question number 10, in Beauty's opinion, who was the best owner he ever had? Jerry was the best owner. I guess that's enough for today. We are going to complete tomorrow with more parts of chapter 5 and more questions. Thank you for watching this video and have a good day.